Let's play the most talked about game on YouTube, the game that every YouTuber from gaming to fitness to ASMR love to rant about in suspiciously similarly worded advertisements. But first, a word from our sponsor. Rage Shout, I'm just kidding. The game just finished downloading on Steam, let's get to it. As soon as the game opens, no menus, no options, no nothing. We immediately are put in a little action cutscene using the in-game renders, and it looks quite nice, ignoring the strange artistic choice to drown the hack and slash sound effects with the music. And then a seamless transition into gameplay. Well, sorta. It's kinda like a tutorial cinematic introducing us to the ensemble of characters, as well as how to target enemies. We have our admittedly generic cast, including Athel, our knight, our somewhat racist axe-wielding orc, Gallic, our sly mage, Kale, and our profoundly racist, holier-than-thou, elf archer, Elhain. The game then teaches the basics of our character's unique abilities, wherein my wizard completely obliterates the entire battalion of normal human beings. I thought we were fighting ogres and stuff. Also, the voice acting in this game is pretty good.
One big happy family, mortal.
Unsurprising, given this game's seemingly unlimited budget. And now back to enemy soup. My party of warriors now run to the classic treasure room guardian, the dragon, and after some bickering, Elhain gets snatched up and chowed on, and the rest of the party fares just as poorly, as they all get wiped out by a nasty fire breath attack in a cinematic scripted loss. Then we meet our main game guide, the Arbiter, who controls the shards from which we summon and control our champions, and we are given a choice on which of our starting party we want to take with us. Clicking on any of them gives us the rundown on their stats and abilities, and, as a stickler for good UI, it's pretty good. And even gives you the upgrade benefits for each skill. And maybe it's my racism showing, but I kind of found it surprising that the High Elf Archer is the beefiest in the group. Anyway, going off of first impressions, I went with my boy Kale, who had the best showing since he killed like 5 dudes, and I'm pretty sure the orc and the knight didn't even fight.
So be it.
One loading screen later, and we enter the town management portion of the mobile game. From here, the game gets really handholdy, which isn't really the worst thing given the amount of shiny clickable buttons on screen. But first and foremost, the Arbiter wants us to bolster our numbers by introducing us to the most important mechanic in any of these mobile gacha games, the summoning. Here we use mystery shards at the portal to summon out new champions. Don't worry about all these options, the gold blinking circle is all we care about. So let's summon.
Excellent.
Now, I don't play a lot of gacha games, but this has got to be the single least exciting summoning animation that I've ever seen.
Excellent.
Regardless, we summon forth our Dark Elf Sniper. From there, we are taken to the battle map where most of the gameplay will take place. Here's the lore if you're interested in that stuff.
I fear that the king and his bannerlords have fallen to the shadow.
Again, not really pushing any boundaries here. Next we get a little episode card with the curious text, touch to start, really showing you that vintage mobile game port quality. We also get this very pretty stylized cutscene for the lore of the region. Selecting the first stage, we are introduced to the team setup screen, which again is pretty nice. The game utilizes a combat triangle, which is conveniently shown on screen. And then we go, face to face with our enemy in a 2v2. The game seems to really value quality of life with things like these effective arrows, until I try and read my abilities. Here's an interesting lost in translation moment from mobile to PC. On a phone, your finger is both a pointer and a clicker. What that means is simply hovering over an ability with the mouse is not enough to pull up the prompt to read. To do that, you have to awkwardly click and hold on the ability. But okay, let's get to fighting. The yellow bar is your turn meter, and when it fills, that character gets their action. As you can imagine, the intro stage is laughably easy, and we waltz through it smoothly. The reward screen gives us our first artifact, which can be used to boost up our champions. And unsurprisingly, this is where a lot of the grind comes in. We return to the town map and are directed to another one of the many buttons, the champion screen. We are told how to equip artifacts. This part is weirdly paced, as it forces us to fight another section, then brings us back to the artifact tutorial so we can learn about set bonuses. And with that, the Arbiter departs, believing that she has prepared me with everything I need. Which is about 3 of the, 20 on-screen buttons. Oh, and look, here comes all the mobile game nonsense. First up, we have Loki Chase, a classic 14-day login reward system. Then we get the free goodie bag pack, then a free silver pack, both of which are the symbolic first free hit of that good meant to get your eyes into their shop. But the pop-up barrage doesn't stop there. Next we have the appreciation gift, and I've got to point out, look at this dude, this is Photoshop, right? Everyone in this game is actually well drawn and artistically consistent, but this is just some dude's head. With the pop-ups out of the way, I go to fix the most important thing, my username, since player number string just doesn't do it for me. Reprising the name of a fallen warrior from Gemstone 4, watch that video too, Tazius. Okay, I'll take Tazilu. Interestingly, when I leave the profile screen, another pop-up appears. Must have gotten stuck in traffic, but that's okay. And even though there's only 2 hours before it disappears forever, I can still snipe all these items for just 30 bucks. Next, I spy this little pop-up and get extremely envious at Sir Iracles and his 5-star Pythion. So I open up chat and try to introduce myself, but for some reason, my message goes missing. Oh, and when I close chat, I get another delayed pop-up, this time for the $30 Sacred Daily Pack. So let's tackle this now. Time to talk shop. The shop is very standard mobile game fare. You have packs of items I can't recognize ranging from $9 to $99, with some of them having a seemingly counterintuitive monthly limit, forcing responsible spending upon the masses of big spending whales. Of course, I'm mostly here for my free stuff, like 2 million silver to add to my stack of 50 grand. Not to mention, I have no idea how valuable a rank 4 chicken times 3 is. Also, I tried chat one more time and still no dice. Okay, back to fighting. Another UI complaint. These little buff icons can't be used to read what each status effect does. Instead, you have to go to the info tab on the left, and then like a rattlesnake field guide, match the picture of the buff to the massive list of potential buffs and debuffs. To their credit, the status effects include all types of ailments from decapitated to digesting? After returning to base, I decided to go through some of the other tabs. This one here is the playtime rewards. And I'm gonna be honest, if you're logging 3 hours of raid every single day, you need to find some help. The index tab gives us a complete collection of all obtainable champions in raid, with all their abilities and stories laid out for you to read. But in my snooping about, I find another curious tab, champion skins. But even stranger than that, after going through about 10 of the champions, I can't seem to find anyone with alternate skins actually available. Even after channeling my expert sleuthing skills to triangulate the most perfect skin candidate, a pretty elf girl who's literally one of the first characters you meet, even she doesn't have any alternate skins. Eventually, I do find one, Coldheart with 2 additional skins, but instead of bringing me to the shop, the Get Skin button flat out tells me that I should have feared missing out harder, and now I can't get the skin at the moment. I turn off the music because the short loop is driving me insane, and I get back to the game. First I summon a few more fighters, and then get back to fighting. And I'll give them credit. I thought I could just plug anyone in and push on through, after all it's like the first 20 minutes of the game, but the combat triangle and the level gap actually gets my guy killed. Through the campaign I earn a new character, and a new color, my Red Crusader, and the team slots bumps up to 3. But now let's experiment with the other game modes. First up, we have the Big Spender's Wet Dream in Arena mode, where players can use their designer artifacts, champions, and teams to bully the less lavish players. Now, PvP is kinda like Clash of Clans. You have an automated defense and a player-controlled attack. And after assigning my strongest soldiers to defend the honor of our little hold, I look over to my opponent and see what challenges await me at the base level 900 rating. It's a whale, with a team power of 83,000. Over 20 times higher than the starting 4 that I'm coaching. I mean, look, that's literally a level 60 Sun Wukong. But okay, maybe it's just an anomaly, so I spend 5 gems to refresh and get paired with a team that's 3 times more powerful. And since I already spent the gems, I may as well give it a go. To my almost complete disbelief, my valiant warriors survive a blow from these overfed 3 hour of playtime a day goons, but of course we are defeated. And my time in the dungeon game mode sees my pathetic movie extra archers in the back get slaughtered before my 3 anime protagonists get overwhelmed. Raid Shadow Legends is a bit of an anomaly. A game so catastrophically mid, it only survives by word of mouth from script-reading YouTubers that are just trying to get paid. But I'll give them credit. At least their ads actually show the game, unlike whatever this is.